Hey, Giant fans. Welcome to the Giant Insider Podcast. My name is Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper, and with me, as always, is the beat writer in the heart of Giants Nation. Nobody beats the biz, Chris Bizignano. All right, obviously, folks, we're going to talk about the Giants' first-round pick in Malik Nabers, but you know what? First, put things in perspective. Former Giant Corey Cunningham today was found in his home. Unfortunately, passed away. I think it's worth mentioning that before we get into the draft. It's a tragedy. Young guy. Don't know the details. I don't know, Chris, if you heard anything, but saw that today. It's just so sad. 28, 29 years old, whatever he was. I mean, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, thoughts go out to his family and him. He was a good guy, Corey. He was a funny guy in the locker room. Always respectful. Always to talk to you. So just a shame when you heard that this morning, man. Just a shame.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, man. Like when you do this, right? Like you're in the locker room and stuff. You get to know these guys, and you hear that. It's like, oh man, like it's such a tragedy, you know? Like,
yeah, absolutely, man. Like you said, I don't know what happened, but I know they found him in his apartment or something in his house in Jersey. Died. So so thoughts go out to his family, man.
Yeah,
Unbelievable
is right.
And you see by the reaction by a lot of the players. I see Graham Canolfo. So he was a well-liked guy, man.
Justin Pugh too, right?
Pugh threw something out there today. So well-liked guy. Just a shame.
Yeah. All right. So listen, draft happened finally. I mean, after all these months of speculating, first round came and went. 6 quarterbacks go over the first 12 picks, and the Giants take Malik Nabers. Was not a surprise pick in the sense that if they were going to take a receiver, it was going to be one of the three, Harrison, Nabers, or Odunze. I know we had our preferences. Malik Nabers is an absolute stud, an absolute game breaker, someone who can just completely change the entire offense. But the Giants did not take JJ McCarthy, who was sitting there for them. So it was funny, Chris. I did the live stream, and 1,600 people were watching or joined. It was insane. From all over the globe, from all over the world, man. 3 from Australia, South Korea, and Chris, without a doubt,
South Korea. Wow.
Ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, JJ McCarthy was by far the most polarizing of all of them. I mean, it was either we want him or please no. And everyone else, it was just take the receiver, or trade up and get Drake May. But McCarthy, it was, oh my God, no, or yes, please, this is the guy. And then they went with Nabers. I'll give you my thoughts on it in a second, but not really a surprise, right? I mean, what do you think? If they were going to take a receiver, it was going to be one of those 3, and there was a very good chance they were taking a receiver. So,
yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you still going.
No. I'm kind of kicking it over because I have my thoughts on it, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, give me thoughts. You're on a roll. Don't stop.
I was a little disappointed just because
I can see that. Yeah, I can see it in your voice. I can hear it in your voice and see in your face. Yeah,
because McCarthy was there. And look, I'm not saying I just, and maybe it's me just kind of wanting to move on from Daniel Jones. And I know Daniel Jones would have been the starter next year, Chris. I get it.
Yeah.
But the succession plan kind of would have been there if they took McCarthy at 6. He fell to them. They didn't have to trade up to do it. The trading up for Drake May, if that's their guy, I understood why they wanted to do it. I just thought McCarthy would be not a consolation prize, but the next in line. That's like, okay, are we going to take a quarterback here? They didn't go with him. They didn't go with Penix. They went with a receiver, and they went with a guy who we like a lot. But I think we both preferred Odunze. But I'm not gonna bitch too much about that. Right. But with McCarthy there, I probably would have gone in that direction. So now it's Daniel Jones, and they're surrounding him with talent. And if they get a quarterback, it's going to be more of a project in the 2nd or 3rd round, if they go at all. I still think they will, but it'll be more of a project like that. But look, I'm not going to complain too much about having a receiver, but I would have rather had McCarthy, to be honest with you. That's all.
Yeah, so I'll give my thoughts on it. It's like we talked about, what I said a million times, is all how they have these kids graded out. And the most interesting part was that they couldn't use it. The experts out there who swore JJ McCarthy was going to the Giants, right? You couldn't use the excuse of, well, somebody traded up and beat him to it. He was there on the board.
Yeah. It's like you're naked, right? Like, that's it. I'm naked.
Right. Now, the Giants tried to trade up. Yeah. For 2 days, they were talking to New England about trying to move up for Drake May. That was their guy. And the New England wasn't trading out of it. They need a quarterback. They liked May. And the Giants, look, it was a matter of teams in front of them this year needed quarterbacks. So they kind of got screwed in a way. Where they couldn't trade up, where a team that didn't need a quarterback was willing to trade out very easily,
Right. Yeah.
New England needed a quarterback. They liked May. So the Giants tried. They were the most aggressive team, from what I understand, trying to move up to the 3 hole for May. And it didn't work out. New England stood, and then they drafted their guy. So this is the way I look at it, Jerry. First off, the guys I had rated in front of McCarthy went in front of McCarthy. No, I'm sorry, one went behind. I'm sorry, but Guy Penix, shocking when Bo Nix right behind McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it is this, dude. Joe Shane's legacy here, right? If JJ McCarthy, who very possibly could be starting day one in Minnesota, he's going to Donald's right now is their quarterback. McCarthy could beat him out if he looks good and can't. Kevin O'Connell's probably going to go with the kid. Okay, I could see that, maybe not, but Bo Nix, a guy who I really liked, that people were like, he stinks, 5th rounder, blah, blah, blah. He went to 12.
Yeah, 12, right.
Quarterbacks in the first 12 picks, okay? Bo Nix is probably going to be starting day one for Sean Payton. I think knows a little bit about quarterbacks. He coached a future Hall of Famer for a long time. All right? So, Jerry, Joe Shane let these guys pass.
Yeah.
Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, and Bo Nix. All right. Penix is not going to be seen the field unless Cousins gets hurt. Nobody, I don't have any idea what they're doing there, but I kind of get it, I guess, in a Green Bay model. Okay. But if JJ McCarthy, Jerry, and Bo Nix turn out to be legit starters in the next few years, and the Giants go 6-11 next year, 5-12, and Daniel struggles and and all that, that's going to be a real bad look. It's probably going to cost Shane and Dable their jobs. Okay?
Yeah. Because
you passed on these guys because of your evaluations, right? That you have them graded a 6th overall, all that stuff, right? Other teams did, including Sean Payton, who had him 12th overall, first round grade. And if they turn out to be legit starters, okay, that's going to be a real bad look. And Daniel and this team goes 6-11 again next year. And the future is, Daniel plays mediocre and all that stuff. And now you got to go try to find a quarterback next year's draft and all that. When you had 2 guys that are turning out to be legit, that could cost you your jobs. And I'm going to say it again. If Daniel looks like crap, injured, team's off to a real bad start, September, October, Mr. Belichick's going to be hovering. Look, they wanted an explosive receiver. Me and you would have went with Roma Dunze, who was also on the board at the time, over Malik Nabers. They went with Malik Nabers. We also said, at least I did, I think you did too, that you really can't go wrong with either one of these kids.
Sure.
So Malik Nabers is a dynamic talent, explosive. I had Rome a better all-around receiver, but you could not go wrong, in my opinion. I think that was your opinion, if I remember right. Well, you said. So they went with Malik Nabers. They went with the explosive guy, a guy they feel is number one, who's going to really help Daniel in this offense. Move the ball, get in the end zone. Something that Daniel's never had. They feel they now gave it to him. Daniel's the guy next year, like you said. If do they shock everybody tonight in the second round, go to Spencer Rattler? Maybe. Possible. If it's a 3rd round, 4th round, it's like you said, it's going to be a project kid. Nobody's starting in 2024.
No.
If they go middle rounds with a quarterback in the next few days. So, Jerry, it's all about evaluations, and we're going to see in the next few years how those evaluations work out. So I was lukewarm on JJ McCarthy, okay? Like I said, if they would have went with him, I wouldn't have had a problem with it, Jerry, at 6 overall. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, we got to get JJ McCarthy at 6. I think he's that good. Other people did, other people didn't, right?
Yeah.
Like 50-50. But all I'm saying is that since he was on the board.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Since he was on the board, you didn't even have to give up assets for him, draft capital for him.
Yep.
And you let him walk. That's your guy's decision. That's your guy's evaluation. Where you graded him out. I just think they better hope him, Michael Penix, who was also on the board. And people thought I was crazy saying this kid's going to go higher than you think. Well, he went 8th. Okay.
Mm.
Bo Nix, people thought I was crazy saying he's going to go higher than you think. He went 12.
I had all 4 going by 13 in my draft, dude.
Well, there you
All
go.
6. Sorry, all 6. Yeah.
Well, they were in your mock draft in the paper.
Yeah, in the paper. I had it last month.
Whoever read the article probably thought you were insane too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If they pan out, it's going to be a real bad look for Joe Shane and Brian Dable.
And Chris, I say it every year, quarterbacks rise up the charts, whether it's right or wrong, right? Now,
Right.
And that's to your point. You nailed it when you said McCarthy was there. Like, I had the 4 quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, 4, one way or the other. I thought someone would have to trade up with Arizona to grab McCarthy because teams would be fighting for him. They didn't. So he was there and we passed. And it, like you said, you got to be right about this now because you're passing on a guy who, if he turns out to be Super Bowl quarterback, it's all right. How did we do? Did we get a Super Bowl in that time with Daniel Jones or whomever? So that's the thing, right? And again, I wouldn't say I was like, it was just a little, I don't even disappointed is the word, but it was, ooh, all right. I hope you're right about McCarthy because we took a receiver. Okay. Now again, dude, absolute monster who will change the offense, will make Wan'Dale Robinson, who I love, will make him incredible in the slot, will probably help Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton. He's going to help the entire passing game if Daniel Jones can be upright. But now now it's okay. We're all in on Jones. And even if we take a guy in the second or third, like you said, this is week 12 at best, 13, probably next year he's starting. I always said, like, I know you always said that Daniel Jones is starting the season. And yes, but if they took McCarthy and Jones struggled through 6, 7 games, you would have saw that rookie quarterback by week 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
Now you're not. Right. Now you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing was that, like we just said, he was on the board.
Right.
Him, Penix, and Nix were on the board.
Yep.
The Giants were picking at 6, which we really didn't think was going to happen. We thought JJ was going to be off the board.
I thought top 4 picks would be quarterbacks.
We thought the Vikes might move up, either with the Chargers or Arizona. Arizona and the Chargers held. They didn't trade out. Minnesota, they just sat back and got their guy. They went up one to make sure nobody jumped in with the Jets.
Yeah.
And got their guy. You know? So look, the Nabers pick is something the Giants sorely need.
Yes.
We haven't had this type of guy. We don't know what he's going to be like when he starts playing. Let's not forget that, right? But we have an Odell Beckham Jr. type of talent here. I'm not comparing to Odell. I'm just saying he's an LSU kid that was explosive, that's very explosive, like Odell when he came out. And we all know what Odell did the first 3 years with Eli Manning. It was insane, the numbers he put up, record-setting numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Daniel gets his guy. He's ecstatic. Joe Shane, I mean, I was with them last night, and they were ecstatic, So this is the way they grade it out, Jerry. They might be right, or they could be wrong. And Jerry, they better hope they're not wrong.
I know. Yep.
They better hope they're not wrong. That's all I'm saying, because they're not going to have jobs here if the Giants are a 6, 7 win team, 5 win team, and all that. Because and look, you could just sense the fan base was happy they got Nabers, but I think the fan base wanted a quarterback. And then when JJ was on the board, there was no excuses. Like, somebody jumped the Giants, or Vikings came in with those 2 number 1s, and the Giants had no shot. So look, the Giants did try. They did try to get Drake May, no question about it. But New England wasn't going to trade out. The only way they were listening, obviously, you have to listen, dude. You have to listen.
Sure.
This isn't Peyton Manning coming out. He's going to be in the 3 spot for you, You have to listen just in case somebody came in with this ridiculous offer, which you never know. Look, I remember back in the day when Ricky Williams, when he came out and the Saints traded the whole draft for him.
Yeah, right. It was crazy.
So you don't see that anymore, Jerry. There's no Mike Dick isn't around anymore. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying you just never know if some team's going to come in with some insane offer where you have to consider it. And then New England basically made up their mind for it. Like, guys, they were basically advertising, we're not moving out. So don't even think about it, fans. We're going to draft a quarterback at 3. And obviously Drake May was their guy. And we'll see if he works out. I saw Belichick was bashing him last night. I saw Belichick was ripping into him. Look, it's all a matter. Let's see how these guys fit into their system and how they play.
And right? Belichick loved Nabers, by the way. Loved them.
Yes. And there's nothing. How could you
nothing
not
to
like Nabers?
Yeah. Right.
There's nothing not to like.
Right.
There's nothing not to like, Jerry. So, but like I said, with those quarterbacks on the board and passing them, we will see how this plays out because it could cost these two guys their jobs down the line.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break right now. I'll be right back. You're listening to the Giant Insider Podcast. Hang on 1 second. And we're back. Folks, listen to the Giant Insider Podcast with Jerry Foley and Chris. Nobody Eats the Biz, Bizignano.
Jerry, I mean, am I getting too dramatic with that? That could cost.
No. I feel like I'm too dramatic, and then you're kind of saying how I feel. Like, that was my thinking last night. Like, shit, we just passed on a guy. Oh, you better hope that this guy isn't the winner that he was in college, because that is, oh, wow. All right. What do you know what the offer was? 2 questions. Okay. No, you don't know.
To the Patriots?
Right.
No.
Second.
Go ahead.
If it was, Chris, if it was a 1 this year, a 2 this year, and a 1 next year, and they said that's what they wanted, would you have done it for Drake May? If you believed in Drake May?
No. If I was New England, you mean?
If you were the Giants.
Oh, if I was the Giants.
So if the Patriots said, Joe Shane or Chris Bizignano, give me your 1, give me the 2, give me your 1 next year.
At first, I wouldn't have gave up next year's 1 going from 6 to 3, but then I thought about it. I said, I probably would, Jerry. If I really thought that was my franchise guy, I would. Yeah.
You know what's funnier, Chris? I would have had a bigger problem with the 2nd this year because then I'm not getting a number 1 receiver. Yeah. I would have given the 1. I was hoping it would be 1-3. I thought it would be 1-3-1, but when I heard it was 1-2-1,
I think it was 1. Yeah, that's what
I kind of got it. I kind of got why you didn't do it, but I think I still would have done it.
If you're New England.
If you're the Giants, if that was the offer, if that's what they wanted.
Yeah, that's what they, from my understanding, that's what I'm hearing too, Jerry. I'm not definite. I am hearing that. I don't know for sure if that's what the offer was from Shane or if New England turned that down or if that's what they wanted. The Giants said no. I'm not sure. It's all a moot point now, bro. So this round is in. So
and look, Nabers is not a consolation prize. Nabers is an absolute stud. You know, the only thing is, Chris, I'll be honest with you. The thing that concerns me a little is like I call this pick like either he's going to electrify us next year and give us like 1,300 yards and just be like, oh my God, he jumps off the field, off the screen. Everyone is better because of him. Or by week 3, he's saying, I'm not getting the ball enough. That's what I'm concerned about. You know, and that's any wide receiver, right? Like, and that's why I thought Dunze was a little bit of a safer pick. It's just, look, Nabers, if you're that good, you want the ball all the time. And if you're a number 1 receiver, you want the ball. I just want to keep that in check a little bit. I don't want that to be a thing right away. Like, I don't know. That's my concern. But he's an immensely talented wide receiver. He should be happy about this. So.
Yeah, he's something we haven't seen around here in a while. Hopefully, right. The way he showed in LSU, so somebody we haven't seen around here in a while. So it's a pretty fast receiving group now between with Nabers and
blazing.
And Slayton is no turtle himself. He could run,
dude. Blazing fast. Wandale too.
And then but I'm talking about just that burn. 4.3,
oh yeah, sure, yeah.
That 4.3, 4 speed. You got Slayton is real fast, obviously Hyatt, and now Nabers are burners. They can really run. So that receiving move. Look, Dable's been talking about for 2 years. We got to get faster. We are too damn slow in this team, and he's wanting to improve that, and they did, no question about it. Between Hyatt last year and now Nabers this year. So they improved that. Again, got a lot of speed.
And he catches the ball with his hands. He does everything right on the field, dude. Like it's his routes are very good route runner. He catches the ball with his hands. He's not a body catcher. Like, you've said like, look guys, there's 3 receivers in this draft. I've never seen this before where all 3 could be bona fide starters. Right. And we got one of them. So we got a guy that a lot of guys had at the top above Harrison.
Look, a lot of people had Nabers rated higher than Marvin Harrison.
Right.
Okay. So we'll see how that plays out, but it's the truth. People had Nabers rated higher than Harrison. Some scouts and GMs had him rated higher. Yeah. Look, he's a much more polished receiver than Hyde coming out last year. It's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close. So Daniel's going to have some guys running around, a couple of deer out there in that secondary running routes, boy. So it's a matter of holding up and Daniel hitting these guys, reading the defenses and finding these guys, that will be played out down the road. But, but we expressed our opinion about the quarterback situation. Just to be clear, I think I speak for you, Jerry. Like you said, Nabers is no consolation prize. This kid's legit. Oh, yeah. He's legit. This is who the guy the Giants have targeted. They really feel he's a real physical guy, Jerry, a real physical receiver like Rome, Dunze, that wins those contested battles, gets off the line of scrimmage. I asked Joe last night in the presser, what really stood out to him when he saw him in person,
Yeah.
And he told me, I made the media. He said, he goes, his toughness, his grit.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. He goes, we saw that a lot. I saw it in person. He said it last time I asked him. So they're ecstatic to have him. And we'll see how it plays out.
All right. So we took a stud wide receiver in round one. We're surrounding Daniel Jones with some talent now, right? We're more talent. We're trying to give him a line that makes it a fair fight. We've now given him a number one, again, which should improve a lot. We don't know what Darren Waller's doing still. I think he's retiring. But round 2, round 3 tonight, Chris. Is it best player available? What are you looking for here for the Giants?
I think the Giants go cornerback.
I
Jerry,
could not agree more, buddy.
There's still some good ones going to be out there.
Chris, could Cooper fall to 47?
I would feel better about it if they didn't give away that 2 for Burns, but obviously you got to give away some capital to get a guy like Burns.
Yeah.
I think they would have a better shot there. I don't see it, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see Ricky Pearsall going to number 1 wide, for the 49ers yesterday at the end of round 1.
Right.
So you don't know. There'll be a couple of guys I think out there still. The kid from Rutgers, and I know a kid they were pretty
McKinstry.
Cool, but they also like this Andre Phillips from Kentucky too. They brought him in the building. I know they liked him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's second rated, they graded out second round or not, but they kind of liked him. So either second or third round, we'll see it. But I think I think out of these 2 picks tonight, Jerry, cornerback is going to be one of them. And then it's going to be what do they do in that third? Say they go corner in the second. What are they doing with that third pick? Is it is it a running back? Is it a safety? Is it a defensive lineman?
Quarterback.
Right. So that's going to be a little bit interesting to see what they do in the third round tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they have like and it's just a name they're mentioning, but Spencer Rattler, where they have him ranked. Like, I almost feel, Chris, like if there's needs there in the second, right? If there's a cornerback that we like a lot, or even say a defensive lineman that slipped, and we take Spencer Rattler, I almost think it's a bit of a panic pick. So I'm not expecting that. I think they're going to go best player available second round. Highest on they're going to stay true to their board like they did in the first round, and they stayed. And look, you can't criticize that, right? There's one thing you can't. They stayed true to their board. They didn't reach. I mean, it took the guy that they had highest ranked. So I think they'll do that.
Jerry, did you catch Shane last time? He says he was our number 1 ranked. He was our number 1 receiver. It sounds like they had him ranked higher than Marvin Harrison.
Sure. I mean, Chris Sims has been saying it for weeks. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like I said, when Joe said that last night, I was like, "Oh, fuck! Does he mean like after Marvin Harrison, or does he mean period?"
Somebody said he had him the highest ranked player in the entire draft. I forget who it was this morning. So I mean, not that that's unheard of. He's that good. But yeah, I just think they're going to stay true to their board tonight, Chris. I agree. I agree with that. I think it's corner second round. I think it's an easy one because there's enough left to make that pick, and hopefully they're there at 47. And then third round's a bit of a crapshoot. We'll see if they get a quarterback or not.
I left out one position, Jerry. Look, they still need to stop the run, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're going to have some inside linebackers probably in that third round.
Yeah,
probably still going to be on the board.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that ain't going to happen either. You know what I mean? They still got to stop the run. Or defensive lineman, Jerry, a big monster in that middle.
That's my under the radar, like no one's talking about it because they need a corner so bad. But like, man, the Giants need someone next to Dexter Lawrence, dude. It's just I think that's a big need for us, bigger than people are talking about. So
yeah, so that wouldn't surprise me either. There's gonna be probably a real good defensive lineman. I don't know how do you have these inside line if they have couple of these inside linebackers rated second round and it comes to them at 47. Who knows? A kid that's a run stopping linebacker. So. It'll be interesting, dude, tonight. But I expect defense in that second round pick, either cornerback, which I expect cornerback.
I think corner as well, dude.
That's where I think they go. And then the third round tonight to finish out the Friday night, we'll see. Could be a running back, could be, like we said, a couple of different things.
A few different positions. What was the biggest surprise to you last night? The quarterbacks going?
Penix
at 8. Yeah.
Oh, overall?
What was your biggest surprise? What was your biggest surprise?
Yeah, Jerry, I didn't think. I said I had 5 quarterbacks, maybe 6 going in the first round. I did not think there was going to be 6 in the first 12.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought Penix and Knicks would go higher. Like I had that, like Penix 18, 13, 15, right around that area. I did not have him 8th.
I had him in 13, going top 13 because I had the Raiders taking one.
Right.
So I had flipped Broncos and Raiders. Right. I had the Broncos taking Penix, the Raiders taking Knicks. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I had. And then I had I didn't have Atlanta taking. So that was the.
I don't think anybody had
difference.
that, bro.
That was the difference. Yeah, I was like, wow, Atlanta. Okay, I had them taking the Dallas Turner.
I wonder if that shocked the Raiders too, man. You know,
yeah, right. And they took it. That was one of the biggest surprises. We're sitting there doing a live feed. I go, well, I said the Jets should be taking a left tackle. I think they're going to take Brock Bowers. So everyone's killing the Jets this morning. I'm like, what are you, crazy? This left tackle hasn't given up a sack in college. They need linemen.
I don't know why anybody's surprised by that.
I thought it was great. I was surprised that they actually did the right thing.
Right.
And we're watching it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm going Brock Bowers. I go, the Raiders won't take Brock Bowers because they have Mayer. I'm like, oh my God, the Raiders took Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I was surprised too. Yeah, I agree. That was a little bit of a surprise. Bowers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is it? The first 14 picks were offensive players? It was insane.
Yeah, it wasn't until the 15th, I think, right? 16th pick.
Six, and six, what was it? 6 of the 12, the quarterbacks, 6 of the first, which is insane too, Jerry.
Yeah, so, yeah. It's like 1983 all over again.
Yeah, Dallas. Look, let's talk about the division for a second.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, the Eagles
got a good one.
They were trying to trade up all damn day to land Mitchell.
Yep.
They didn't trade up and landed Mitchell.
Now, great pick for them.
And then, and yesterday morning they go out and extend AJ Brown.
Right. Well, that was
because there's no salary cap in Philadelphia. We know that.
And it's such a Howie Roseman move to do it on an event day. It just is.
It's funny. Let's not be throwing dirt on those Eagles yet because they're still a real damn good freaking football team.
Oh yeah, they got the guy they wanted, and they didn't have to move.
Amazing. Yeah. Depending on how Jalen Hurts comes back next year, they're still really good. The Cowboys. Well, what Dallas did, what Dallas does.
Yes. Yep.
They love offensive linemen.
Solidify that line.
And every offensive lineman they draft seems to be real good.
And Micah Parsons, did you see that? Micah Parsons looked aggravated. Like, oh man, he's got to get off social media, dude. Yeah. That was a bad look. But I would have been like, that's Dallas for you. Yeah, he was kind of like looking like, but I'm thinking, yeah, he was like kind of looking like, really? I'm thinking, Micah, the Dallas is built on the offensive line, dude. They do it every year. Don't question it. They know what they're doing with that.
They lost Tyron Smith to the Jets. He went free agent. So they draft Tyler Guy, who's probably going to be dynamic,
Right, incredible, right.
It's incredible. I think they took the whole 10 minutes, man, which means probably Jerry was arguing with his son, Steve, and probably Jerry Jones wanted a running back, and Steve was like, are you out of your mind? And they went with the offensive tackle.
Right.
Because that's been known to happen in the war room in Dallas plenty of times that Jerry and his son argue about, and his son usually rules out and winds up with the better pick, by the way.
Exactly right.
Then Washington, obviously, they feel they got their franchise quarterback with Jaden Daniels, and time will tell with that. So, don't forget how aggressive they were in his free agency. I even signed a few Cowboys too, but now they feel they got Daniels, and obviously, they feel they got their franchise quarterback. So, Dallas offensive line, I thought they were going to. Honestly, Jerry, I thought they were going to go running back. I really was. They went offensive line. Yeah. Washington, we knew what they were doing, and the Eagles go out and get their guy. That's the guy they wanted.
Without trading up.
Without trading up. Yeah. So, and the Eagles pull Eagles stuff. Howie Roseman, I did not think they were going to extend AJ Brown. I figured they paid Devontae. Who knows what's going to happen with AJ? They somehow know they're paying these two wide receivers big money.
$96 million over 3 years or something. Like, wow.
So, I thought AJ Brown was playing and complaining himself out of Philadelphia. I really did.
Same.
He's back. If Jalen Hurts is, who I really didn't think played well last year, but I also think he was a little injured too. I think something was going on with him too. But if he comes back playing, the Eagles will be real tough again. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And look, Giants fans, man, I see it on social media. They're happy with the Nabers pick, but they're not happy with the Giants did quarterback wise. You could just see it. So many people are like, I gave up on the season already. I'm like, you can't do that, man.
No, you can't do that.
Come on, let's see if Daniel could, he's going to be healthy and hopefully a better team around him. He could play better, So
he's never had, and that's the silver lining here. He's never had a number one. Mm-hmm. He's never had a line that can really function. And hopefully, if you have that, then it's all on him. Like, this is it, Dan. Like, Daniel, there's no more. If the line can function, Chris, there are no more excuses. This is it, dude. You got to perform. You got to give us 20 28, 29 touchdowns and 7 picks or 10 picks or whatever, and another 5 or 8 running. Like, you got to put up numbers now, man. You got to stay healthy. You got to put up numbers. That's it. I don't want to hear it anymore.
We're sick of talking about this for 5 years.
Right. Like, oh, we're entering year 6 of this. But I said that I could not get over the polarizing nature of JJ McCarthy. But all right, man. Look, we have a stud receiver. Yeah.
Jay, what was you said like 50-50 last night on the stream that people wanted him?
Yes, I'd say, but it was one extreme or the other. It was like, I can't stand him. He stinks. Or
I saw that on social media too. Yeah.
Or he's Tom Brady. It was like either that or he's Tom Brady. Like, there's nothing in between. There was no like meh. So, but a lot of people like Nabers though, dude. I mean, they're pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody likes Nabers. I just think it was, well, why didn't we go quarterback? We had him there, right? I think that's what it is. You know what I mean?
It's the kind of a pick that you make when you have your quarterback already, and you're excited. Then you're excited about it. You're like,
then
right.
you do the roof. You do the roof. I don't think there's anybody not excited to have Nabers on the roster. Right. I just think the people are just like, well, what the hell? We had the quarterback.
It's kind of like the Chiefs getting Xavier Worthy by trading up
with the team that's
right, but it needs a wide receiver
to them every year in the playoffs.
That needs a wide receiver.
I mean, what?
Who's smoking crack over there?
Sometimes I just look and like, what the hell? So I don't know.
I actually had Worthy going to the Chiefs last, so I hit on some, but I hit him in different weird spots, dude. It was pretty funny.
Well, you hit it with the team. Yeah,
I hit some teams, like even McCarthy.
Can you imagine what Andy Reid is going to do with that new toy?
Oh my God! I mean, that's going to just be a blast for him.
Oh, can you imagine what he's going to?
What do you run? 4.27, 4.28.
When he's going to dial up with that kid, the fastest 40 time in the history.
Or was it 4.21 or something?
4.21, I think it was.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So, whew, okay. Like I said last night on Twitter, between signing a few guys this off season and free agency and stuff, the Chiefs actually got better than the team that won the Super Bowl this year.
That's unbelievable.
So,
that, and again, that's a pick. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're like, forego the rest of the picks. We're good here. Like, wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. We just won a Super Bowl with basically a rookie quarterback and Travis Kelce. A rookie wide receiver, Rice, and a tight end.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we got a burner. We got Marquise Brown in here. Rice, we'll see what happens with his legal issues, and Kelce, and we're better than that. We're better than last year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, well, they're smart, Jerry. They're smart. So
yeah. All right,
so
anything else?
We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah,
and we'll wrap it up Monday or something in a podcast and all that.
Yeah, we'll review all the picks Monday, and then probably the following week we'll have like Syvertson on to give us his opinion on this too, and then we'll get into we'll get into the how it's going to go with the OTAs and all that. So
exactly.
Yeah. So
you see a whole lot of Drew Lock in the OTAs, Jerry.
The Drew Lock season.
Daniel's not going to be ready for the OTA. So
the happiest player right now on the Giants right now is Tommy DeVito.
Right now, yeah. Right now
until tonight or maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
until they trade for Kirk Cousins. No. So,
yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of the draft, everybody.
Yep. Absolutely, dude. All right, guys. See you next time. Sundays are Giant days. Take care.
Bye-bye.